Howdy. Sorry, that's not something I ever say, but it amuses me when someone else does say it to me. My name's Brian, this is Football Manager 22, and we're back in Salisbury. And we are back in the English Premier League with Salisbury after promotion last year from the Championship. So we're back here with the Club Vision screen, and as we can see from the left, the board, which did change hands. It wasn't sold, but a new member of the board took over chairmanship. And they have added a lot of requirements slash they have deemed that we have started establishing a club culture that we need to follow. Fine. It's all mostly stuff I would do anyways. Sign players under the age of 23 to the first team. Yep. That's who we target. Don't sign players over the age of 30. Yep. Nope. We don't sign old players. Play attacking soccer, playing possession soccer, playing high tempo pressing soccer. Yeah, that's all how I'd ideally like to play. Coming up to the Premier League, it's not necessarily an option to do all of that, but we'd like to try. Work within payroll budget, obviously. Minimum 3-year contract for 15 players. Seems reasonable. Sign players to sell for profit. I don't really sign players just to flip them, but I do try to sign young players and develop them. And if they are not good enough for me, then we do look to sell them for profit. So, well enough. Spend the original transfer budget. Sometimes this can be hard. I don't like... I can be... covetous. I can want to keep my money and not spend it. It was very necessary to spend money this year, and they're pleased by my efforts. Expand the stadium. Not anything I really asked for or did, but we are working on it. We are expanding the grounds from... it's about roughly 3,000 seats, about 15,000 to, I'd say 16,000 to about 19,000. Unfortunately, temporarily has us losing 1,500 seats while they do those renovations. So technically, we are under the requirement of valid seats for an EPL stadium, but they'll let us play there anyways. We have failed one of our goals already. We didn't reach the third round of the FL Cup. Luckily, they do have the understanding that we had a difficult draw. We did win one round, but we lost in the second instead of making the third. So it was sad, but what can you do? If you're sneaking a look over here to the right, though, you can see some really positive things up top. But let's take a look at how we have rebuilt the team to the change in level. So it started... Okay, so we've seen Esteban Aguilar. He is actually still in Costa Rica, playing another year with Saprissa. He's not ready at all for English Premier League soccer. I don't think he's ready for Championship League soccer. He's entirely developmental option, so I'm happy he's spending another year with Saprissa in Costa Rica. Next year he'll come over, and we'll be able to try and figure out where exactly the best place for him is on loan. He does have 21 caps already as an 18-year-old for the Costa Rican national team, so by my rules, he'll be able to play in the EPL. So if we want to just loan him down to a League One team, that's valid. We have Vladimir Ivanov. He is the other young player, super young, 19. He's closer to being ready, but we still have other options. And also, again, Ludogorets, I believe, asked for him to be given a loan back clause, and so we are letting him stay in Bulgaria for the year. Yes, that is correct. Oop. All right, now incoming players who are actually playing for the team. We have Rolf Hurleman, 18-year-old center back out of Switzerland, Grasshoppers specifically, a club I have managed before in Football Manager. His physicals are good, nothing outstanding, just a sea of 11s and 12s. His mentals are very good. You gotta love that determination, his bravery, his teamwork are all in the green. Solid anticipation as well. 19 tackling. The boy will dispossess you. You don't love to see the player trait down there of argues with officials, but what can you do? 13 heading, 14 marking, 12 passing. He is already a capable EPL center back. We bought him for $6.25 million. His value already is estimated at $24 to $29 million. He will also not be the first Swiss player we buy. We bring in a 22-year-old Already better player, not much in the room of improvement. From Romania, from CFR Cluj. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. I believe this is one of the better clubs in Romania. Yes. Sigh. So, yeah, he's 6'4". He has much better physicals, 14s and 16s for everything, as opposed to 11s and 12s. 14 pace and acceleration, which is what I was looking for. Pacier center backs to be able to retreat back. Very solid mentals, though, and, perfectly adequate physicals. He's probably near. He can improve a little, not much, but a little. This guy is, I don't know if he's a EPL or if he's a Champions League caliber center back, but he's very much an EPL caliber center back. We're happy to have him. Again, we got him for $3.9 million from Cluj, and he's already worth 14.5 to 16.5. He is he's one of, so if I was able to dictate who my affiliates were, and we're probably not big enough to be a senior affiliate to Cluj, but we have acquired 2 players from them within the last 2 years. So both them and Saprissa would be clubs I would opt to go, hey, we've got a good relationship. We're selling players. We're buying players. We actually sell a player to Cluj here very shortly. We've got a good relationship business. Let's formalize this into something true. So, okay, then we spend $21.5 million from to buy Juan here from Bournemouth. So he was already in the EPL. In retrospect, compared to the rest of the team and where he's going to end up, it might be a bit of an overpay. But he is a very flexible player. 15 pace, 16 natural fitness, 14 acceleration. So he's got great physicals. His mentals are a little sporadic. Stuff at the bottom is not necessarily lit up, and neither is concentration. He's got good flair. He's got decent determination and decisions and off the ball in terms of finding what to do with the ball. And he's got good technicals too when it comes to the scoring and helping others score. 13 technique, 14 passing, 16 first touch, 11 finishing, 14 dribbling, 13 crossing. So the idea actually was with him being either-footed. I wanted to try out an either-footed inside forward on the left, because while they're coming in more, they are still not coming in as much as I'd like, I guess, from the position. So having a bi-footed player means they can, cross with that left foot if they do insist on seeking the end line, and just give us the best of both worlds, essentially. One has... He's getting a little makeshift there, but he's more playing as a winger for us on the right. And again, he's got 13 crossing, 14 dribbling, so it's just fine to play him as a winger on the right. So it's nice to have the flexibility. He can even play as an advanced forward up top if we need him to. So it's nice that we can shift him between all of the attacking players, but he definitely does not deserve to be, I believe, the highest paid player on the team, and for $21.5 million. But when you buy from Premier League clubs or even teams going down to the Championship, sometimes that's what you're paying. David Selchuk from Pribram in the Czech leagues. He is on loan. Again, he is seems like a very talented young player. He does not have the appropriate number of caps, as we've covered before. He has 16 pace, 15 acceleration, 14 dribbling, 14 first touch, 12 passing. Love what I'm seeing there in terms of being an advanced forward. We brought him in for just $1 million and $2 million net. Want some, I don't know whether those are clauses or deferred payments, but either way. So Prime was actually a team in the second tier of the Czech league, and so we were actually sending him back to Jablonec, which is in the top tier of the Czech league. And through a month, they played him as a sub once, which is not what we agreed to. And he needs playing time, so we withdrew him. We couldn't play him because he'd already played for multiple clubs in the year. That's the one rule that somehow managed to stay. Luckily, we have loaned him to FC Copenhagen. Hopefully, he actually gets to play for them. There's been the international window, so I don't know if they've had. Oh, great! It's not even the E3F Superliga has not been loaded. So he might play in the Europa League, but hopefully he gets fake playing time from what he'd get in that league to simulated. In terms of players going out, at the end of last year, we sold Josh Crook out to the New York Red Bulls for $500,000. He was a right wing we had for some time. He turned 26, and his development had kind of capped. He's a physical monster in terms of pace and speed, just fitness, agility, balance, great stuff. Not very strong. Technically not amazing. Had some good mentals. Like he's a very good player at doing some very specific things. But at this level, you need to find better, well-morale players. There's with the loan backs. So then we move into technically this year, and this is where we really start acquiring players who before would not give us the time of day. The biggest and best signing, in my opinion, of the team is for $10.75 million. We managed to pull Jacky Garcia away from Lausanne in the Swiss League. As you can see from the right side, the kid is amazing physically. He is 20 years old. Already has 5 caps for the Swiss national team. 15 pace, 14 acceleration. He has amazing stamina, jumping reach, fitness, agility. He's 6'4", so runs like the wind, but has size and strength. His mentals are all really good. His determination's good. His anticipation's even getting better. His off the ball's a 14. His decisions are 14. His composure's only 11, so I'd like to see some work there. Vision is only a 10 with his passing, quote unquote, again, only a 10. So he's maybe a little more of a poacher, or given his physicals, a pressing forward than a true advanced forward, because he's not amazing in creation, but boy, with those physicals, with that off the ball ability, in 12 dribbling, 14 first touch, 13 finishing, he puts the ball in the net. We need to get him a new contract. He's making enough money, which is the problem, but he has what seems like, okay, well, his minimum release clause for clubs in Champions League is $63 million. I thought it was lower, and I was worried. $63 million might be enough, at least for a little bit. And if not, at least we'll have $63 million. Obviously, his value has already skyrocketed to $57 to $78 million. And when we go over our performances so far, yeah, he's lived up to that. I decided to repeat my problem of having 2 good strikers, and so we signed Sakael Zondi, 3 caps out of South Africa. Had been playing with the Golden Arrows, which I believe, yes, is a South African team. He's a solid goalie, 6'1", has a good aerial reach, 16 despite that, 15 jumping reach. Altogether a solid player. Phil Neville loves this guy for whatever reason, and would prefer to start him over Messon. So we've accidentally started him a few more games than we wanted to. Right now he's happy to be he's happy to accept the role of cup goalkeeper for now. So we should be playing him as that. Messon does have more stars. It's an awkward situation. We have loaned in Michael Furtado from Inter. He doesn't have the caps, which from Portugal is not unsurprising. But he played last year with Olympiacos, which meant he played in the Champions League, which, as we've discussed in the group stage, which, as we discussed when we were having the Copa Libertadores discussion, that is enough to get you basically enough points to be signed to get a work permit in England, my understanding. So I felt comfortable expanding that to him. He also played in the Greek leagues, which isn't a great league, but is good enough. But really, it was that fact that he got to play in multiple Champions League group stage matches. So Furtado's in defensive midfielder. We didn't have a player as good as him at that spot. Great physicals, some really good mentals, and competent technical skills at the important stuff. Basically marking, passing, tackling, heading. Here is our second player from Cluj. He's a 26-year-old Norwegian with 3 caps. He is also an either-footed player and already has experience as a inside forward on the left. His physicals are good, his mentals are good, and his technicals are good. And he also offers 16 free kicks and 12 corners. So he gives us some options when the ball is set down and we have set pieces, which is nice because we haven't had that so much recently. So Nusa will be, we got him for $4 million as well. Well, he's a little older than Juan by like 3 years. The difference is stark between how much we paid for Nusa versus how much we paid for Juan in terms of roughly similar players. This one is another surprise because it's not Jacky's brother, because Edgar here's Spanish, and again he's a wonder kid. He's played for Real Valladolid. Yes, everyone knows Real Valladolid. Uh, they they got relegated, but again, if you played in a top five league, you basically accumulate enough points. In my understanding, which Spain obviously is. They played in the top flight last year and they got relegated. So he played enough in there. So he was actually then. I wasn't planning. I didn't think he was going to be available. This was a bit of a later signing on 8-9 as opposed to 7-28. So Garcia comes in and immediately is going to play at that left inside forward spot with his 16 pace, his 17 acceleration, just amazing physicals, 17 dribbling, just again lights up everything. He'd love to push some of these even more. Spirited personalities. I'll have to double check. I don't think it's one of the better personalities, but it's not terrible. 14 determination certainly makes me happy. And then we had one late signing. We bought Nikwan McAvoy, Jamaican Englishman from Tottenham for 4.6 to play in the middle of the pitch at center mid, kind of a replacement from the year prior of Klein. Very good physicals, which aren't as important for center mids, but some of those mentals are really good. You see vision and flair lit up, which is obviously great to see, especially vision. Just finding out the right passes. His technical ability to make those passes isn't as amazing as you'd like at 12, but 17 first touch, should be able to receive the ball, move it on. Even has 9 marking and tackling, so he's very comfortable playing the middle of the pitch and not just playing in attacking midfield. And since I value international experience, he's got 26 caps for Jamaica, so good stuff. He has not actually featured for the team yet. We've just been on an international break. In terms of going out, we've loaned Callum Monroe down to Wigan. Julian Melendrez, who is kind of maybe not featured anymore. He was our emergency backup at both fullback spots. There's the Sajik loan to Jablonec. They gave us some money, and then we took it back and said, no, we don't want your money, we want him to play, and sent him to a place that doesn't have actual games scheduled. Whoops. Hutchinson's going to Charlton. We get a little money from it on the loan out of Brad Blomgren. We sold Michael Fausick, our left back, to Wolfsburg for $4.7 million. He'd been promised more playing time. He's basically was even with Bruman at left back in terms of actual ability, but he'd been promised more playing time. He was drawing more money in terms of interest, and our purchase of Arif Zavivi, 20-year-old Syrian kid here, had meant I needed to move one of them out. And so Bruman, who had already accepted less playing time as part of his contract, while Zabibi here wants important playing time, important players playing time. So Fausick was the better choice to move out, and we sold him to Wolfsburg for 4.7. We sent Ingolfsson back to Cluj for $12 million, which we bought Nusa and Alexandru for less than that. So basically we got 2 starting caliber players, 2 rotation caliber players, and about $4 million for Peter Ingolfsson, who was our captain and is a very solid football player. Physicals and mentals just all lit up. His technicals, less so. He's a good player, but he wouldn't, he'd be back of the rotation. A little less flexible than Billy Bell in terms of where he can play, only really at center mid, defensive mid, while Billy Bell can also play a little at right back if we need him to. Though we have loaned out Billy Bell now, so we've lost that flexibility. We loaned out some of our young players, Griffiths and Scully, to South Shields and Maidstone. And we've loaned out recently Brandon Branois and Billy Bell. This was an attempt to help the morale of the team. It hasn't quite worked. This feels like a glitch. So Brandon Branois came to me at a certain point and said, "Hey, to the team, unfortunately, it was like, hey, we don't have any depth at left wing to play that left inside forward spot in the match in the formation we've been training." And he was right because we didn't have anyone. But I was trying to get some players. I'd brought in one to do that, but to be the first. But again, he doesn't naturally play that as a position, so it was something he was going to have to develop. But then, promptly I brought in Nusa and Edgar Garcia, like as fast as I could. Again, Garcia was remarkable that I brought him in. There were several other very legit teams that had actual bids in on Garcia, so I'm amazed I got him. The position now left wing is well stocked, but everyone in the squad, so many players agrees with Brandon Branois. It's like, about what? Like, yeah, we don't have squad depth at the left wing. We didn't, and now we do. Knock it off. It's frustrating. And Billy Bell was upset that we were replacing him, and we were, with Furtado in particular, and just everyone on the team, the depth. But, so I'm trying to get them away from the team to get their, not their bad personalities, but, okay, guys, we don't need to be all whiny about it, all stressed. But what can you do? Garcia plays. There, thank you. So, in terms of results, we've played 3 matches in the EPL so far, and we are on 9 points. Things have gone great. Things are amazing. We aren't getting relegated. Jinx, knock on wood. Liverpool is getting relegated. Knock on wood. No, there are teams worse than Liverpool. And we've played some of them, including Liverpool. So yeah, things have gone great so far. Let's take a look at the actual results. We had our friendlies. Apparently we had a testimonial that we played with York for one of their players. I'm not sure Joshua King really deserved a testimonial. Great, you've been in the Vanarama National League for 10 years. I mean, tribute to your player, but come on. Anyways, we opened the year by demolishing Brentford 7-3. This was amazing. Jacky Garcia posted a perfect 10.0 rating, scored 4 goals, assisted one of our other goals. Oh my. Love this kid. We followed up by taking a trip to Aston Villa, which Thomas Green scored the winner there in the 27th minute. And then we took a trip up to Anfield to play Liverpool, and Jacky Garcia scored the winner there in the 50th minute. We again lost to Fulham on penalties here after Baba Uda scored our 2 goals. Unfortunately, he missed key penalty. What can you do? Fulham's a yo-yo team now. So, just like always, hire me, Tony Khan. I can tell you how to run your soccer team because I play Football Manager. Yeah, that's the ticket. So, that brings with us up to our game right now. We are playing Norwich. They are in 5th, so they've done pretty well so far. They play a 4-2-3-1. So, our lineup, it looks like this. No. There we go. Playing Messin at the back, Gossage and Bruman at the wings, Torres and Alexandrescu. We're going to have to get this dude a nickname, along with some other players. Furtado, Green, McAvoy in the middle, Garcia, and Nusa. See, they're different Garcias. This Garcia has a diacritic mark. He's the Spanish Garcia. Up in the attack. Since we're back in the EPL, 9-person bench. Mihalev and Uda have picked up injuries. Uda's less significant. Mihalev more significant. Zabibi here, a little bit tired from playing for the Syrian national team. I imagine they run him to death because he's actually a good player, but he's on the Syrian national team. We are just coming off a friendly with Eastleigh to thank them for letting us borrow their stadium for a while. and just to keep players who weren't on national team duty fresh, though so many of them were, because we have either national teams as requirements for getting permits or just are part of a U19, U21 environment. So we had 17 players all out on loan. So I've also it hasn't been a fluke, other than obviously the 7-3 is a kind of ridiculous assault on the goal against Brentford, but and then Furtado makes a pass like that. But from what I've seen, the actual watching them play, McAvoy plays a big ball forward to Bruin, lays it back to Garcia. Garcia plays it up to Bruman. Bruman back to Furtado and to Green. Green plays it up to the Garcia. Garcia to Garcia. Garcia to Nusa. Nusa goes for it, and looks like it came off the defender's foot, and Nusa will take the corner. Torres finds it, heads it in. His second goal of the year. Fabio Torres providing a threat there that Richard Cumming, who is still part of the defensive center back rotation, but Torres seems much better at actually, controlling the ball with his head and not just being tall. When you're playing defense, being tall and getting your head on the ball, that's usually enough to negate the strength threat. When you're attacking, you need that heading stat, and that's what Torres has at, just like 6'2", but great jumping reach. But you can see like they actually make good passes there and don't just. If you remember some of those bad games, Thomas Green, Jacky Garcia, what a pairing that is. Love that duo. Love Jacky Garcia. Want to give him all the money and take away all his release clauses. No release clauses for Jacky Garcia, please. So as you can see, 6 minutes into this game, the ball moves and the passes work the way we want, and they aren't just kind of like, I'm just going to kick it into space over there and hope someone's there, and no one was ever there. It was those 3 games we showed, or 3 or 4 games we showed in the EPL were bad, and I would like to show not bad games. Our players looked like they were playing. Ooh, good run and good save from Messon. But our players, when we played in the EPL last 2 years ago, kind of looked like they were playing at a Vanarama National League type levels, just compared to the opposition anyways. Just constantly squandering possession. These guys, not so much. There are some holdovers. Obviously, we've rebuilt the team significantly. Our fullbacks are 3/4 of the same players as before. 3 of the 4 players are back. Cumming is still, and Torres are both part of the center back rotation. I'm trying to think who my 4th center back is right now. It's escaping me off the top of my head. They play a long ball to Connolly. We do a good job cutting off at good angles. In terms of the center mid rotation, again, that is largely the best players are new, but Green will be starting still, and Doyle will be part of the rotation, and I guess McLean will probably see a little rotation time at both at defensive midfield in particular, but maybe at normal center mid a little as well. So that's about half back, but again, they're mostly the rotation pieces other than Green now. And up top, bad passing there, but a good save from Messon there. Up to Alessandro, plays up to Bruman, pressing a bit now. Up top, obviously, the starters, these 3 guys who are playing for us right now, Garcia, Nusa, and Juan, are all new. That is from Green. Garcia, I can't find the space. I need to play it wide. But Uda's now the backup center, striker, in rotation, and Kostadin Mihalev is still the backup right winger, though he's on injury, but again, we have the players to rotate. Ball's played forward for Bruman. Cross is high. Garcia gets his head on it. Nothing there. But Nusa can play the right wing. Garcia can play the right wing. Juan can play the right wing. So, we got a bunch of depth there. If we really wanted, we might even be able to get away with not having Mihalev on the team, but we get 9 sub spots, and ball's played up to Garcia, to Green, to Garcia, plays it forward to Nusa, off Dahlberg's hands. So why not use it? And also because injuries, suspensions do happen, in particular injuries. Haven't really seen any suspensions. I think that's another rule that might have gotten crossed out with the database. Happy with the passing. Keep it up. As I haven't seen red card suspensions or yellow card accumulation suspensions like you usually would. So you can pick up as many yellow cards as you want. Please don't. Put your team under risk. City up 3-0 on Brentford. So Brentford maybe just not a good team. They were a mid-table team last year, but prior to that they'd been a bit of a yo-yo club. Nothing much to say here. I'm very happy with how we've rebuilt the team. We've got a mix of old and young players. We've got some dynamic issues. McAvoy lumps it forward, looking for Garcia. Unfortunately, plays it too far. Nothing to having. The club, was unhappy with Brian Waugh's statement that we were short at left inside forward. They were right, but we fixed it, and they're still seemingly a bit unhappy, which is annoying because the issue is now fixed. Billy Bell had some personal discomfort about getting replaced. We tried to loan him out to get him away from the boys, to just make it so there's not an unhappy player on the team. I tried to sell him, both of them actually. Neither one would bite, so I loaned him out for free, just getting him away. Hopefully next off season, or maybe not during the winter transfer window because they'll be on loan still, but hopefully next season I'll be able to move them, or they'll at least be on 1 year left. So maybe at that point it'll be even sensible just to go, hey, I'm releasing you on a free. Here's all your money for the year. Go find someone else to play for. And we sold Ingolfson, who had been the team captain, because again I saw the issue of him significantly dropping down in playing time to nearly none coming, and I didn't, you can't do that to the team captain. So the fact that Cluj was willing to pay $12 million for him, phew. Ball played in, Palmer heads it, and it goes wide. Torres over to Alexandru. I'm just gonna call him Alex. Alex up to Bruman to Green. Green to Garcia. Garcia wheels about. Garcia has lovely purple shoes. Like it. Up to Garcia, looking for a breaking Nusa. He does get on it. Unfortunately, it's blocked, but Nusa does get possession. Up to McAvoy, off the goalkeeper's hands. Let's take another corner. Can Nusa get another assist? Playing it forward to Torres. I sure hope so. No, plays it very short to Garcia. He's dispossessed aggressively by Melamed, but does nothing with it. Furtado's looking tired. He's our defensive midfielder. Sure, we can take him out, though Cumming is not who I'd put there. Let's go with McLean. Yeah. Garcia on the left wing is on the worst rating, so let's bring in Juan there. Get him some practice at the spot. And then our other choices are Green and Gosic. I mean, frankly, if we wanted Torres or Nusa as well, or even McAvoy, those all would be reasonable choices. Let us continue our developmental purposes. Hurleman's our last center back, new player there. But we will go ahead and keep trying to develop Capoon and bring him in at right back. So, hopefully, that was a very offsides but good attempt from the team. Pause to actually press that guy button. I'm sure we will have some setbacks. Interesting, they pivoted to a 5-3-2 look. We will have some setbacks through the course of the year. This is not a team that'll be a set of invincibles. But unlike last time in the EPL, where we just didn't have the horses and couldn't bring in the horses because our reputation was so bad. We had the reputation of a mid-tier League One side when we were in the EPL. This time we have the reputation of a mid-tier Championship side, and the money we can offer, which is a lot, and the reputation of getting to play in the English Premier League is enough to convince young players like Jacky Garcia, God amongst gods, to come play for our team. And that means goals. Sorry, Baba Uda and McNally, who we had playing striker last time we were in the EPL. You're no Jacky Garcia. So, hopefully everyone, all the wins, increase the team's cohesion and dynamics. A lot more of our players, I think, speak English. Last time it felt like we were significantly 12 points, 8-point goal differential. Sorry, Southampton. We are now the team of South West England. Does Jacky speak English? Basic English. It's fine. It's better than you'd expect. So yeah, we need to balance playing time, which is always difficult in the EPL since there are just less games, especially as we get knocked out of the Carabao Cup a little earlier than I would have liked. But overall, I am very happy with the team I have. I do not have much in the way of budget. I have spent it all up. Only 1.81 available in the transfer budget, 170K in the payroll budget. I can probably jiggle things around to, I can move some of that over if I needed to give out a new contract. But obviously a lot of my contracts were signed just this year. I don't think I have any expiring contracts. The only one is Furtado's loan. Everyone else is at least here for another 2 years, and that is Doyle, Torres, Bruman, McLean, and Messon. I like a lot of those guys. McLean probably is not getting another contract as much as he would like one. I respect him. He's been great for us. I hope he finds a good team in the Championship to play for a long time. And Doyle, again, same kind of boat. He's a bit capped out of his potential. He's going to be a useful piece for us this year. But I think Brian Noah is right about the lack of squad depth. But yeah, so things are going great. I hope they can go even better. I hope the social groups start collapsing into, just 2 groups. Yeah, so I have a lot of expectations for this year now, which maybe isn't a great thing, but I hope you join me on this journey. We'll see how far we can rock it up, and how well, how quickly teams start calling for our talented players that we managed to find and buy, and then how we do in the EPL, and if we're positioned to play European soccer next year. So, thank you so much for joining me. I would love to hear from you. If not, like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things, and I will see you soon. Bye.